What's up, y'all? Spider here. So for this video, I want to do a quick talk about the Sony Xperia One Mark III and their update strategy and the kind of weird controversy that's going on with it. And yeah, let's get into this here. So the there was this like rumor or whatever that it would only get 1 year of a major OS update. So that would mean that basically it would get Android 12 and that's it, right? Later on today, that it came out that it's just going to get two, and I don't necessarily feel like that's a bad thing at all. With the amount of phones, with how Sony is trying to, dial back the amount of how they've dialed back the amount of phones they've been putting out. They basically only have the 1, the 5, and the 10 as their flagship, as their phones now, right? So for me, for them to do this decently, I feel like making sure that the phones that they put out only get two major OS updates, which, to be honest, I feel is fine. Android kind of has become this thing where you don't really get that many new features in OS updates. They tend A lot of these newer, features tend to come through Google Play Services updates, which you don't necessarily need the most up to date phone and able to get that in terms of the operating system itself. For example, my my G7, which I think is stuck on Android 9 or 10, I don't remember. No, it's 9. It's definitely 9. Um, still got Nearby Share, and you were able to get that through the Google Play Services update, right? Um, which is very nice. And given Sony's past, where the One Mark II is only getting two major OS updates as well, I don't necessarily feel like this is a bad thing. It kind of goes with their entire mantra of the battery life of the phone in 2 years will last a good amount of time. And I'm pretty sure when it comes to something like security updates, it'll be even farther than just 2 years, because security updates are easier to put out. They're just patches at the end of the day. And obviously, I do feel like they will still put out regular patches if things get broken, because that tends to be the case. I feel like a lot of these tech reviewers tend to think that the S21 Ultra model or the Samsung model is by far the best model to go with. I don't necessarily, or even the Apple model of like 4 to 5 years of updates. That has its benefits and drawbacks. For one, say an iPhone 6s, which I have an iPhone 6s that's going to be getting iOS 15, is not going to be feeling all that smooth after all of this time. It already on iOS 14.5 doesn't feel very smooth. So I don't necessarily see this as a bad thing for someone to be like, look, after 2 years, plus it might just be 2 years of promised updates, be promised OS updates, because you never know. They might be like, you know what, we'll maybe put out one extra OS update, if the phone can handle it. So we may do that. Who knows, right? And I feel like Sony is getting a weird amount of backlash lately from the screen not always being on 4K 120 to a lot of these different things that people are nitpicking about. 2 years of OS updates, I feel, is fine. Like, again, I'm going to be keeping my S21 Ultra for the next 4 years, since they did say we're going to be supporting this phone for 4 years, 4 years of major OS updates. I'm going to see how well that stacks up, because already on my friend's S10 Plus, battery's not as great, which is also going to go with the performance not being great. It being able, well, I don't think they're going to be giving the S10 Plus that much coverage. I don't think. But say the S20 4 years from now. I don't necessarily think it would already be on Android 11. So Android 15, I don't think it getting that amount of updates will still keep it as smooth as it would be now, or as it was when you once you first got it. People tend to forget that as things get more powerful, as phones get older and things like that, things don't work nearly the same as they used to. Plus, there are other things about a Samsung phone in particular, after years of having it, that people don't ever talk about. Like, more and more of their services have become piecemeal and ad ridden. There's like the Samsung Music app literally has an ad that you have to cut off, and you can't cut it off for more than a week. Um, there are things like that that just don't make sense to me on a $1,300-$1,400 phone. Whereas Sony being like, look, we're just going to give you 2 years of major updates, which means for the Xperia 1 Mark 5, you'll be getting a more powerful phone to handle those updates better. I personally feel it's better for the phone to have 2 to 3. Like LG is only doing 3 years of software updates for the V60, which means that by 2023 that'll be its last year in terms of getting updates, right? So to me it's totally fine to sit here. Like, I get it. Everybody wants the Samsung treatment, but in terms of what Samsung does with their updates, a lot of things break in their updates and very few things get fixed. like I'm sorry, but to sit here and act as if Samsung's the be all end all, you have to have 4 years of monthly updates and of major OS updates. I don't necessarily feel that's the case. Android 11 broke my S20 FE. The camera became unusable when that update first came out. Then a couple weeks later, they patched it, and it was fine. I don't think the strategy of promising 4 years when you have so many phones out is a good thing to have, because it just does something to these phones. They're not meant to last that long. Like, I'm sorry, but you go to a HTC 10, it it overheats. The battery's not as good as it used to be. It may shut off at certain points. There's a lot of different reasons why you shouldn't be expecting a manufacturer, when they want you to get another phone. They want you to get another phone at some point. The Xperia 1 Mark 5, I feel, is a good amount of time to keep the Xperia 1 Mark 3. And then after you get Android, what would it be, 13, you'll be fine. you know, and honestly, that's just how I feel about it. I understand where people come from, where they want more updates, but I feel like more OS updates. But honestly, I just don't see the point in keeping a phone that long. You're not going to, most people don't keep their flagship phone for 4 years anyway, especially due to the fact that it's not easy to swap out the battery anymore. People still own V20s and use V20s as a basic phone because they have removable batteries. You don't have that with these modern phones anymore. You have to deal with either having to go to a Samsung place or go to a third party place to get the battery replaced, or send it into Samsung, or just get a new Samsung phone. And to complain about these things, I feel there are more things that you should be complaining about that these companies just haven't really taken into consideration, or really have cared about nearly as much. I feel Sony being like, look, our batteries will last longer than batteries in other phones because of how we handle certain things over time makes more sense. Giving you a 33-watt charger and all these other things, making the phone even more useful over time. and it slowing down the charging after a certain amount of time and giving you these sort of charging controls to make sure that if you want your phone to last even longer than 2 years, you can make it happen, you know. Yeah, though, that's all I really want to say for this. Let me know in the comment section below what you feel about this. Again, I don't necessarily. I feel like it's justified and it isn't. It's justified, and I understand why people look at a bigger player like Samsung while it was focusing on my hand and not the G8 here. They see someone like Samsung. People have those phones getting uh, more number of years. They only see the number of years and not the quality that comes with those updates. Already, I can tell you the quality of updates that come from Samsung is very wishy-washy. You know, they may improve certain things. They may take away certain features, not take away certain features. They may squash some bugs. They may improve certain features, things like that. But then a bug that was squashed in 2 updates ago may come back. That's literally what happened with my S21 Ultra, where they pretty much, like 1 update ago, they pretty much squashed this bug that I had where I just clicked the power button once and sometimes it'll launch the camera. And it happened very frequently. It went away. And then with this recent update, I think it was the July or June update, I don't remember. It it came back. And it feels even worse than it did beforehand. And to me, that just doesn't really make sense. So for me personally, I do feel like updates needs to have a more nuanced approach other than just, oh look, the amount of years that they say. No, you need to look at it more intricately than just the amount of years. You have to look at the quality of the updates. Apple, I do feel, is a gold standard because, or they have been a gold standard. They do have a similar issue to Samsung where updates may break certain features, may break certain things on the phone. Like a very common thing with Apple phones is that when you get an update on an older phone or even a newer phone, battery life may tank. And that's something that you're gonna have to deal with, and you're gonna have to learn how to wait until they put out another update to fix that issue. And apologies, I keep teetering the phone up and down, but whatever. I'm hand holding it right now. So let me stop this before this Ultra gets too hot. This is Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for support. And let me know in the comments section below what you feel about this. Xperia 1 Mark II owners, how has your update cycle been? Because I've heard pretty good things, but let me know how that has been. Hope you guys have a wonderful, Jesus, what day is it? Tuesday, whatever time of day it is in your area. Have a good one.